I come to find out there's not that much Hollywood in Hollywood. The Hollywood in my mind is not the Hollywood in real life.
And I have a lot of fun going to late night parties with my friends. Most of the time I go to Epstein's Island, and there's a lot more fun there than you think. I've made quite a few friends there.
I want to talk about things. If Bill Cosby is accused of sedating and raping all these women, and it's the #1 story in the news, I want to talk about that, yes.
I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected.
You know, celebrity culture has, I think, collapsed at this point, and I think that's a death that needed to happen, you know, because the amount of excess, the amount of debauchery is stunning.
One makeup artist was quoted as saying that when he tried to make small talk with Ellen, she supposedly said, "Who do you think you are? Don't look at me."
For decades, Hollywood sold us a dream that felt almost too perfect to be true. We watched as famous stars leaned into the camera, their faces lit with expensive studio glows, preaching messages of kindness, love, and universal positivity. No one did this better than Ellen DeGeneres. She was the woman who made the world dance, the host who ended every show with a simple command to be kind to one another. But as the bright lights of her stage finally dimmed, a much darker reality began to leak out from behind the velvet curtains. Former insiders, once sworn to secrecy, are now coming forward with claims that suggest the "be kind" mantra was nothing more than a carefully constructed shield, a shield used to hide a world of power, control, and connections that reach into the most infamous corners of human history.
The Ellen situation.
Yeah.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And then we're like, whoa,
Yeah.
can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. And he was like, she's a monster.
The cracks in this perfect image didn't start with a headline. They started with a whisper from one of Hollywood's most seasoned veterans, Rosie O'Donnell. After spending nearly 40 years navigating the treacherous waters of the entertainment industry, Rosie has seen the rise and fall of empires. Lately, her voice has become a haunting siren for those paying attention. Rosie says she watched firsthand as fame and absolute power warped the people around her, but her most chilling insights are reserved for her former friend, Ellen. Their history goes back to a time when both were rising queens of daytime, but the moment Ellen reached the top, the friendship didn't just end, it was erased. It was a moment on the Larry King Show that served as the first real warning. When asked what happened to her old friend Rosie, Ellen didn't just distance herself, she claimed she didn't even know her. She watched as Rosie's career faced turbulence and chose to push her further underwater. Rosie later described this as one of the most painful betrayals of her life. But looking back, she realized it wasn't just a personal snub. It was a signal that Ellen had entered a different tier of the Hollywood hierarchy, a tier where old loyalties are discarded in favor of a much darker set of rules.
Larry King asked her, and Kelly and I were in bed watching it, and he asked her, whatever happened to Rosie O'Donnell? Her show went down the tubes. And Ellen said, I don't know, Rosie. We're not friends. And that was like one of the most painful things that ever happened to me.
But the personal drama between two hosts was only the beginning of a much larger storm. For years, the internet has been buzzing with a theory that seemed too wild to believe: the connection between the Queen of Daytime and the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. While many dismissed these rumors as baseless speculation, Rosie O'Donnell recently did something that sent shockwaves through the industry. After relocating to Ireland, a move many believe was a way to escape the reaching arms of Hollywood fixers, Rosie shared a social media post that featured a clear photo of Epstein himself. She didn't have to say a word. The timing and the context felt like a massive "I know the truth" signal to her millions of followers. This wasn't just a random post. It was a psychological bridge to the rumors that have haunted Ellen for years. Investigators have long pointed out the frequent overlaps in social circles and the mysterious gaps in the travel records of Hollywood's elite. When Rosie shared that image, the digital community saw it as a confirmation that she was prepared to talk about the powerful people who frequented that infamous private island.
There was also a lot of language that appears to be coded regarding food. I wanted to let you know the crew really appreciated the pizza. Another email read, "This is better than a Chinese cookie. See attached. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again." This one talks about, yeah, that's the pizza. You mean radiating a soft glow with a look of bliss and excitement. There's one more, I think, in this list as well. "Sorry, I have no stomach for even the slightest aggro. I don't have the stomach for it for any drama, imaginary or real. I'm still fragile off the last one and scared of shadows." This is in response to some videos that were shared where Jeffrey Epstein himself says, "I watched all of these videos, don't send any more." And then Ghislaine is like, "I can't stomach any of this." What the fuck did you send that Jeffrey Epstein was like, "No more"?
But as the Epstein connection picked up steam, a new and even more unsettling story began to circulate, one that sounds like something out of a horror movie. It involves a former guest on The Ellen Show, a child prodigy who saw something behind the scenes that shouldn't have been humanly possible. This isn't just about a host being mean or difficult to work with. This is about something that witnesses have described as robotic or even demonic. The story goes that after a segment, a young chess player accidentally caught a glimpse into Ellen's dressing room through a door that had been left slightly ajar. What he saw next reportedly left him in a state of absolute terror for years. The claim is as bizarre as it is frightening. The witness alleges he saw the host sitting alone, consuming a rotisserie chicken in a way that defied the laws of biology. He claims she opened her mouth to an impossible width, seemingly dislocating her jaw to swallow the entire thing in a single fluid motion. When she noticed the boy watching, she didn't apologize or look embarrassed. Instead, she allegedly turned her head with mechanical precision and made a sharp hissing sound that sent the boy running for his life. While his mother didn't believe him at the time, the story has resurfaced now that the public is more willing to believe that the monsters in Hollywood might be more literal than we ever imagined.
Why is it that every time a story is told about Ellen DeGeneres, it gets weirder and weirder? And why do I say that? Because there was a man who now claims that when he was a child, he was a guest on Ellen DeGeneres' show. And he claims to have seen her do some unhuman, scary, like robotic stuff. So the individual in question at the time was a child prodigy chess player. And as you can see, this is an image from the show he was on. He was a guest on the Ellen DeGeneres show. And the claim is that once he got off the set and went back to his dressing room, Ellen DeGeneres' door was open. He took a look in at the door. It was open enough that he could see inside. So he turned his head and he looked. And what he saw next really blew his mind. And his claim is that Ellen DeGeneres was eating a rotisserie chicken, similar to the ones you see behind me. Now, he alleges that what he saw next, she opened her mouth wide open, dislocated her jaw to fit the entire chicken in one bite. Let me repeat, his alleged claim is that she took a rotisserie chicken, opened her mouth wide, dislocated her jaw, and stuffed the entire chicken in her mouth and swallowed it in one shot, and then turned and looked directly at him, and then claims as she was staring at him, she made a hissing sound. He then proceeded to run to his dressing room and let his mother know what he just saw. His mother did not believe him. So my question to you is, do you believe what he said he saw?
I've handpicked the top-rated skincare, home, and wellness essentials favored by Hollywood's elite in my official Amazon storefront. Click the link in my description to shop the Celeb Curio collection today. The connections don't stop at the dressing room door. As internet investigators dug deeper, they stumbled upon the Wayfair scandal, a controversy involving high-priced furniture and the names of missing children. While the company brushed it off as a technical glitch, many noted that several high-profile celebrities seemed strangely defensive of the brand. There were rumors of corresponding emails involving a certain MG and lists of furniture that cost tens of thousands of dollars more than their retail value. When you look at the names of the items, names like Crystal or Annabelle, and match them to active missing persons cases, the coincidence starts to look a lot like a coded marketplace. Ellen's name has been dragged into this nexus of trafficking theories time and time again. Critics point to her inner circle and the fact that she seemed to have an untouchable status for decades, regardless of how many staff members complained about the toxic environment. It raises the question, was she being protected because she was a good person or because she held the keys to a much larger vault of secrets.
If you are deep into the newly released files and you've heard about the Wayfair conspiracy, you probably want to hear this one. I'd like to bring attention to a little girl by the name of Crystal Ann Tymick, who went missing from her South Central Los Angeles home on June 30th of 1994. Now, if y'all remember the Wayfair conspiracy, if people call it conspiracy, several furniture items were listed for outrageous amounts of money, $7,000, $10,000 or more dollars. For cabinets and chairs, regular household items, things that normally would be under $1,000. Now, the creepy thing about it was a lot of these items had names attached to them. Now, Wayfair kind of brushed this off as a coincidence, but it's kind of recently come out that a certain particular man, J.E., had corresponding emails about Wayfair furniture. And the creepy thing is the exact amount was the same exact amount on these websites with the names of missing kids. Now, there was one particular purchase for $8,353, and that purchase was a name of a missing child with a cabinet. Now, Crystal Ann Tymick's cousin also was saying that her cousin had a $8,000 lamp in her name on Wayfair. What a creepy coincidence. Now, she decided to do her own investigating because the FBI remained this a cold case for years. Her idea was if she could connect the dots, she could possibly find out what happened to Crystal. She decided to log into her Wayfair account using the credentials that she had already saved. Coming to find out, she was unable to log in. Now, the strange thing is it led her to another login page, this particular one calling her credentials invalid, although she had used them multiple other times and in recent times had not changed them. Could this be a coincidence, or was Wayfair a page of missing children being sold?
But even the strongest gatekeepers eventually lose their grip, especially when the legal system gets involved. Enter Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General who has recently found herself in the hot seat regarding the release of the Epstein files. Bondi has faced intense criticism for her role in overseeing the document release, with many survivors accusing her of protecting high-profile names from public exposure. Tomorrow, she is set to face the House Oversight Committee, and the world is holding its breath.
Pam Bondi will be in the hot seat tomorrow, set to face questions from the House Oversight Committee as part of their ongoing investigation into the Justice Department's handling of the release of the Epstein files. Bondi herself had faced serious criticism from outside and inside the Trump administration for her role overseeing the document release. It's seen as a key reason President Trump pushed her out of the job. Now, tomorrow's meeting is a culmination of a huge effort by Congress to get her there. She was initially subpoenaed, you'll remember, to appear in April. Then DOJ argued she no longer needed to appear after she was ousted from the AG job. Tomorrow's deposition, it will be transcribed. She will not, though, be under oath. Joining us right now is Marina Lacerda. She is an Epstein survivor who says she was just 14 years old when she met him. She was identified as minor victim 1 in the 2019 federal indictment against Epstein. Thank you so much for being here. Kind of wondering just how you're feeling after, a whole lot of lead up and effort and fits and starts to get Bondi to, sit before this committee in a real way and face this deposition. Kind of, how are you feeling about this?
Good morning, first of all, and thank you for having me. I think it's been such a long road at this point, and we're truly frustrated, and we are thankful that she is coming in, but we would like for her to come in under oath and testify. That would be, ideal here. So it's some, it weighs out. We're frustrated, but yes, we feel like, we're taking a step forward to maybe accountability here.
Yeah, she will not be under oath. It is still a crime to lie to Congress. So there is that, of course, right? But what would you hope to hear from her, especially after it has been such a long road, after the documents have still not all been released, and kind of the mess that we have seen of victims identified and high-profile names being redacted that many viewed as not needing to be redacted now.
Yes, and we understand it is a crime to lie, but we can see that people are committing crimes and no one is, being held accountable for it. So it's kind of, we're very confused here, right?
The reason no one spoke out against the be kind queen sooner is a simple, cold reality: fear. In the zip codes where fame is the only currency, speaking against a power player like Ellen didn't just mean losing a job, it meant being erased. We're talking about the blacklisting of anyone who dared to whisper the truth. This brings us to one of the most tragic figures in this entire saga, Heche. Anne dated Ellen in the late 90s, a time when their relationship was the biggest story in the world. But when they broke up, Anne didn't just lose a partner, she lost her entire career. Anne later revealed that she felt shut down and shut out by Ellen's massive influence. She claimed that studios and TV shows were told that if they hired Anne, they would lose any chance of promotion or partnership with the Ellen empire. Shortly before Anne's tragic car accident in 2022, rumors surfaced that she was working on a documentary that would finally expose the wealth and status obsession that ruled her ex-partner's life.
I don't want to talk about emotion here when I talk about Ellen. I just want to talk about truth. If one was horrifying when Rosie tried to shut me up, why is yours not horrifying? And I think we want to ask why one would have such a domain after 20 years of trying to shut somebody up, so much so that her name could not be whispered.
I don't know that they wanted to shut you up. I think she wanted to shut you down and shut you out.
Very much she did. And by the way, she had a lot of people that went along with her.
Because this is what's happening now, is that people are coming forward that I'm speaking with and saying, well, you know, our hands were tied with the Ellen show.
That means money.
And if you think about all the studios, the TV shows, the films that considered you and then thought, oh wait, there's that Ellen cockblock that we have to consider.
That's right.
Let's just hire Mira Sorvino.
That's right. That's right. You have her in your movie, you have her in your show, you ain't gonna get promo on mine.
And that's a thing.
And that is a thing. And that is
we didn't realize that until the show was canceled, because then people were coming forward and telling because they were afraid to.
Fear has a very big force. It's not as big as love's, obviously. But I do want to say, you teased about this before, but that I was the original canceled, and I am going to be the original uncanceled. I am uncanceled today. I am finished with that. This is what I say. Goodbye. Watch out. You're
But Anne wasn't the only one. The loss of Stephen Twitch Boss, the beloved DJ who spent years dancing alongside Ellen, sent a massive shockwave through the community. Twitch was the ultimate defender of the show, publicly supporting Ellen even when the workplace scandal was at its peak. But reports later surfaced that he was under immense pressure to maintain that public defense, even as the walls were closing in. When he suddenly offed himself in a motel room, the narrative didn't quite sit right with those who knew him. In the world of high-level Hollywood, silence is often bought, but when it can't be bought, it is enforced. Rosie O'Donnell's move to Ireland feels like the final act of a long-term escape plan. She is hinting that she is uncancelled now, finished with the fear that keeps so many others quiet. As we look at the house of cards that is currently wobbling, we have to ask ourselves, how much longer can the be kind persona survive in the face of such overwhelming testimony? The era of the untouchable celebrity is coming to an end, and the great unmasking is only just beginning. The question is, are we ready for what's waiting for us at the bottom of the rabbit hole?